Tommy Invincible, what is up, brother?
Hey, man, meeting the fans. I know I'm getting a lot of love. It's truly an honor and a blessing what's going on. And thank you for being here. You're one of the best interviewers in this business.
Thank you. Now, speaking of that, we got to get you on the podcast.
Yeah, well, bring me on. You jabroni.
Whoa. Let everybody know
All
where
you
they
got
can.
to do is ask. I'm very available to everybody. Ask around.
All right, we'll get you on real soon. Let everybody know where they can follow you. I know you want to get to your fans.
At Tommy Invincible everywhere. Follow me or shame on you. We can all become invincible.
All right, so Tiffany Avatar just lost the Goddesses of War championship, and I heard she went to, Lucky Leo's, to sulk in the candy stuff. So let's go see how she's doing. What the hell? Tiffany, are you all right, Tiffany?
Is that my buddy?
What happened? You lost the title.
She poisoned my lollipop, smashed me over the head with it. I don't have my title anymore, buddy. I can't go home. I can't go to Candyland. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna lay here, okay?
Oh, okay. All right, Tiff. All right. Man, that Amity, she's really tough. Wait, what? What the hell?
I just want to say that it was super rude of you to walk away from me earlier.
Talking to the New York State champion, you're going to have to pay up.
Do you take Kale?
Dude, goodbye.
Whipwreck, Cation, doesn't matter.
We'll see what happens, but it looks like we have a special guest.
Get my earplugs on.
No.
You was looking for Tina, and then you talk about Pete.
Dominate tonight, all right? The Dirty Deeds, they got nothing.
We're now the new Starlet champion. What's going on?
Hi, I am Fearless Princess, so why not team up?
All right, now just announced by Mr. Joel Maximo for February.
Finisher is called the Shadow Band, and I was like, that's kind of.
Hold on. Let me speak. Okay?
But today I got a very special guest. I got the great.
Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I am your host, Papa Dank, and today we have a very special event, the Owners Summit. So I gathered a bunch of my friends all over the United States to come on and talk about the business, basically their business for a moment of their time. I know they're all very busy, so let me bring them out one by one. First up, all the way from up here in New Jersey, Mr. Billy Petsky, Time Championship Wrestling. How you doing?
All right, how are you, Papa Tank?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, no problem, man. Mr. Herb Simmons, SICW.
How you doing, Papa? Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for coming on. Mr. Neil Taylor, EPW. What's up?
Hello. How is everybody doing?
I'm doing great. Mark is joining us. He was just on before.
How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah, he had a little bit of moonshine earlier, so you're going to have to forgive him a little bit, Mark. Mark, tell him the organization again.
My organization is American Hostile Championship Wrestling out of Southeast Missouri.
All right. The Rob Father himself. How are you, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me, Papa Dink.
Thank you for coming on, man. I know you got some extraordinary circumstances, so we appreciate you coming on 100%.
Yes, sir.
And Mike T, the owner of Wrestling with Pride. What's up?
Not much. What's up, Papa Dank?
What's going on? I'm going to try to get you guys out of here as fast as possible. So we're going to start off with 5 questions. I'll start off from the top and work my way down. All right, you ready?
Works for me.
All right.
All right, let's go. All right. Billy Fetsky, tell us about your company, how long you've been in business, and tell us when your debut show was.
Titan Championship Wrestling. We also have Goddesses of War Wrestling, Chosen Pro Wrestling, Funhouse of Wrestling, newly added Constant Wrestling. So there's plenty. We've been around. Our debut event for Titan was January 11th of 2020. So we're, on the tail end of approaching going into our 5th year. This coming January 2025. It's been a ride. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of learning, and a lot of mistakes that we we look back now and laugh about. We continuously make them. But Titan Championship Wrestling is all about its production. And it's about its fans. It's about the Titan Nation. We call the Titan Nation, the supporters, and you know, and the safety of our roster.
All right, Billy. Thank you very much. Neil, it is your turn. So tell us about your company, how long you've been in business, and your debut show.
I'm the promoter of VPW Wrestling here in North Mississippi, close to the Memphis area. The show has actually been in business itself since 2008. I stepped in and took over promoting in 2018. So I really don't know how to answer the debut show. I really don't know how to answer that, but the show has been in business a long time. Is actually the longest running show in Mississippi. So and we're still going strong.
Awesome. All right, Mike T. Tell us about your company, how long you've been around, and your debut show.
Our debut show was August 12th of 2023, last year. So actually our 1-year anniversary show will be taking place next month on the 10th. Myself, Ray Ivy, who you've had on the show a couple times,
yes,
and Colton Cash, we all came together with the help of the Raw Father and Terry Shirley, who both own TNR, which he'll tell about it. Without them and their support, we probably would not have been able to get up and running. But with our company and them, and I know he'll talk about it too, we basically want to include everybody. We are part of the LGBTQ plus IA community. We care about the fan safety. We care about our wrestler safety. Ray Ivy, as you know, is the first openly gay wrestler in the state of Arkansas. And when me and him talked in June of 2022, that's when we got the ball rolling. So it's been in the work for over a year and a half, with our 1-year show coming up in about 2 weeks.
All right. Mr. Rob Father. Congratulations, 100%.
Okay, I'm the co-owner of TNR Championship Wrestling. I have other owners. My brother is Terry Shirley. We founded our business 2 years ago, as of in June of this year. We wanted to put together a business where everyone that we bring in was accepted, no matter of what cost. We wanted to build a business that was brotherly love, sisterly love. We then get with Mike T and Ray Ivy to help them perform WWE. We have the very first ever open heavyweight champion between two promotions. We both have collided together and put our business together and put our heads together. Like Mike T said, our main goal is safety of our roster. We want to give our fans what they want. We listen to our fans. If they give us an idea, we try to give them that idea. So we're just in the business for the fans, and we look to bring in any and all talent to spice the locker room up.
Yeah. And to actually, I don't mean to interrupt, but to piggyback off what Rawfather just said, our combined company's belt, I don't know if you guys know who Tony Gunn is off of OVW. He was actually our very first open weight champion. And he held it for 2 months, Rob?
2 months, yes, sir.
About 2 months, and was able to take it there to OVW and promote us, both companies, over there in Louisville, Kentucky, and everywhere they go. So we want to help get our name out with that type of talent. And it was actually, he didn't even want the title. We actually, me and Rawfather literally butted heads on who to put it on, and we finally agreed, flip of a coin, let's put it on Tony Gunn to help elevate that. Elevate what two companies can actually do.
That's good stuff. All right, Mark, it's your turn.
All right, I'm Mark Manley, Southern, if you will, owner of American Hostile Championship Wrestling. First show was back in 2018, and we run around Southeast Missouri, so we got like
10 little towns in southeast Missouri we run. We do have an anniversary coming up in October. It'll be our 6th year. So we're having a big show in Kennett, Missouri, where it all started at the American Legion building over there, which is part of the Memphis territory. So kind of Neil's very familiar with Memphis. I'm sure some of those other guys are too. So that's where we got our start. And here we are 6 years later, man. It's been a great ride.
That's awesome. Good stuff, guys. Next question. What are some of the obstacles you guys overcame to stay in business, and what learning curves did you get as an owner to get to this point in your company? Billy, you start first.
Oh, the obstacles. I mean, there's so many. Marketing, I'm sure everybody could agree with. Marketing is a huge obstacle. Trying to work your social medias, get your content out there, your flyers, and etc. Venues. Venues are harder. Cost, they go up. Insurances go up, and things rise. Booking. Things could change from week to week leading up to the show, so those are obstacles as well. Every show is challenging. They're unique in their own. You never get a perfect show, at least not that I've ever had. But hey, you know what? When you've got a strong team and the team sticks together just as Titan does, we have jumped over those hurdles. Titan Championship Wrestling in our tri-state area, the New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area. Post-COVID, we were the very first company out the gate that ran a live event. We did a drive-in brawl. So it was the ring in the middle of a field, and we had the cars all the way around it. And people were actually able to sit in their car and watch wrestling because you couldn't have a crowd. My partner, Charlie, went out and bought an FM transmitter. So we had brought in commentary. So as, commentary was talking, people were sitting in their cars listening to the commentary, watching the wrestling. So, I mean, we've done that. We've been through every weather element imaginable. We've wrestled in 110 degrees. We've wrestled in 40 degrees. So, I mean, there's always been a lot of obstacles. Just recently, this past Friday, actually, we had to cancel our second show in company history because of rain was Ocean County Fair. I mean, there was nothing we can do. I mean, they were inches of water. So, we've had to cancel. But again, having 60 shows, almost 5 years, and with 2 cancellations, I think it's pretty good. Good odds here. But, I'm sure everybody has their own experiences.
Thank you, Billy. Next up is Neil.
Man, so with that question, I think that everybody here could agree that most of the time we shouldn't be called promoters. We should be called firemen, because it seems like all you do is put out fires. But
Exactly.
So I think Billy touched on probably one of the main things that all of us fought with a few years back, and that was trying to stay alive during COVID, both literally and figuratively, which presented its own set of challenges. Which for our venue, we do spot shows outside of our Let me structure it like this. So we have a building that we rent, that we film all of our television in. It has our wrestling academy in and all that, and we also do spot shows outside of our town, I guess you would say. But when we were doing shows inside of our venue, trying to keep everybody socially distanced and all that kind of stuff, we were, if we had a party that sold, that bought 2 tickets, we'd put their seats together, and then we would separate another party, a distance away from them and that type thing. So COVID was its own beast. But I guess just normal day-to-day stuff. It's just, you fight everything. You fight cancellations, people that cancel day of show or 2 hours before show. You fight with that kind of stuff, and that's a lot of the main things. Trying to get you guys to promote where they're going to be, sharing graphics, all that kind of stuff. It's but I will say this, try not to sound like Debbie Downer here. We have an extremely good crew with EPW. The guys that work with us are very big socially, so they know to share. They like advertising where they're going to be. So we don't have as many problems with that, but it's still keep everybody motivated, keep everybody focused. Cancellations is the worst thing in the world, especially when you're filming a television product where you have you're not just running streaming, because we actually have a Roku channel as well as a YouTube channel, that type thing. But we also have we have 4 contract broadcast channels that we have. So we have to put out content and fulfill sponsorship obligations and that type thing. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just keeping everybody on pace, keeping everybody there. Those type things. But like I said, we have a great group, and we don't have a lot of those issues, luckily. So it definitely makes the job a lot easier.
Mike,
with us, I want to piggyback off both what Billy and Neil both said. A lot of our guys, they do social media, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. So we don't really have that problem there. But with us being in the South, living in the Bible Belt, we have a hard time because of what we promote. We promote peace, love, equality for everybody. A lot of people where we're at don't see that. They think that we're pushing nothing but gay pride only. And that's exactly what we are not about. We don't care what gender, what sexuality, what medical condition you have. We treat everybody the same. We love everybody the same. And that's where a lot of people don't realize what we are. We've had events cancel on us or not want to book us because of our logo, the color of our logo. We had a fundraiser that was supposed to be taking place this coming up weekend, TNR, and they didn't want to do it when they found out the color of our logo. This is the same school that myself and my company at the time donated almost $1,000 worth of school supplies for a back-to-school event for them. But yet, they didn't want to work with us because of just the color of our logo. And that's the hardship that we are having a hard time with.
All right, Rob Father, you're next.
Just piggyback off of the other guys. It's real simple. When you're a promoter, it's hell or high waters to get stuff promoted. I mean, like Mike T says, I use some of the same guys that he used. So they're on TikTok, they're on Facebook, Instagram. They're always sharing our flyers. We even have guys that volunteer to go hang flyers up for WWE, go hang flyers up for TNR. As I said before, we are a business together. We put our both promotions together, which I run out of Leechville. They run out of Ultra. The obstacles me and my brother have overcome, to me, is just that the booking situation. What I don't like in the wrestling business that I've come to find out, I've been around the business for 15 years. I've been traveling with my brother for 15 years to study the psychology of wrestling. I have a book on psychology of wrestling that I have wrote. And Mike T can vouch for that. I sat down and studied the psychology of wrestling. What I don't like in booking situations is, let's say I book Mike T for Saturday night, and Billy calls him and says, "Hey man, I'll pay you $60 to come over here," and I'm only paying Mike T $50. Well, that guy's going to go to Billy because he's paying $60. That's not the way to do it. Honesty means everything in this business. If you can get a wrestler that is honest to you, that's what you're looking for. That's the obstacles we're trying to overcome. Is we have a bunch of no-show people sometimes that will, and we pay very well. You can ask Mike T. We pay very well to a wrestler. Without them, we can't have a show. Without our fans, we can't have a show. But to me, that's the obstacle we're trying to overcome. I don't know what the other guys have to do about that, but it's been tough on us with booking. As far as everything else, man, everything else has been great. I mean, we've had a great 2 years. We have actually invested in a brand new monster ring out of our business, paid for in full. We are now purchasing a 16-foot enclosed trailer that we have that's coming out of the business. So our business is very well. It's just some of the obstacles like these guys talk about, we deal with the same thing they do.
Okay, Mark?
Ooh, unlike those guys, I've got and Herb probably can speak on this as well, but we have a Missouri Athletic Commission we have to deal with. And as a matter of fact, I just had a issue with them on this past show. Tommy didn't get his physical in time and faxed it over the day before the show, and they still wouldn't let him work. So, of course, you had to rearrange your whole show for that, especially when he's in a big angle, which he's in. And then I had to overcome my trailer and ring just stolen. So, I had to borrow a ring now to run a show. So I've overcome that obstacle as well. And then I had a promoter that Neil knows real good, decided 2.5 days before my fucking show on a Saturday that he's going to pull my talent. So I've had to overcome that. And of course, COVID, like everybody else did. And then basically that's all the obstacles I've had to overcome. I mean, a lot of unusual stuff, but you know what? This too shall pass, baby.
All right, now Herb is rejoining us, so Herb's going to have to answer 2 questions. Number 1, tell us about your company, how long you've been in business, and when was your debut show, and then the obstacles you have overcome to stay in business and the learning curves you've overcome as an owner.
My first show was in 1973 in Malden, Missouri. So that makes it right about 51 years.
I was a year old at that time.
Yeah, oh, don't remind me, right? So, but it's I was one of the fortunate guys that got to sit underneath the learning tree of Sam Muchnick, who was the National Wrestling Alliance president off and on for 41 years, and then his young man that he took under his wing when he was 16 years old, a gentleman named Larry Matasek, was my good friend that lived in Belleville, Illinois. We were in the law enforcement career business together. So, but the passion of wrestling has always been there. So, yeah, they tell me I'm one of, if not the longest, I am the longest running promoter. I don't keep track of it myself. It's been a good pastime for me because I still, like I said, I just turned 71 years old this the 14th of this month, and I'm still booking shows, still doing TV with it. The obstacles, I heard some of them when I got kicked off back on here, but I don't fret over the talent because I tell the talent, if you're going to go work someplace else, go work. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And in 51 years, I've had some of the talent come back. I've got talent's been with me for 40 plus years and are still wrestling. People like Gary the Night Train Jackson. And of course, I'm old school strictly. I bring in a bunch of the gentlemen who built the foundation that we continue to build on. I mean, in August, my show coming up, I've got Haku coming back in. I just did a big fan fest, Papa Dink, you were at in May. We had over 60 legends who was in for that. I do not let the inmates run the prison, basically, and they know that. I'm surrounded by promotions that are drawing 30, 40, 50 people. And, I've told people that if I start drawing that many, then I will get out of it because that's telling me that I've quit. I don't have the gumption to do something right. But, we tell the storylines. But as far as the biggest obstacle, I think it's just like everybody else. It's a business that's a dog-eat-dog world. I love it when all these promotions that's going on here now in the area, let's all get together and let's all work together. I mean, I've extended the olive branch so many times, the branch has been cut off. And it's not about what's best for the business. It's about best for what individual promoter there is. I got about 3 or 4 promoters that I work with, one down in Tennessee, Arkansas, and then Southern Missouri. And those are the guys that if I call and I need some extra talent to bring in, they're coming. Or if they need some, I mean, I just sent some down to Max Creek, Missouri for promotion down in that area. So I'm the easiest guy to work with. It's just that I want to do what's right for the business, you know.
On a side note, while I was there, Bill Apter attacked me with his championship, Herb. We gotta do something about that.
I know. If there's a Fan Fest 3, we may have a rematch with you.
We have to have a rematch. That's right. Title for title.
Happy birthday, by the way. Your birthday was the 14th?
Yes. Herb's birthday is the 14th.
Mine was the 7th.
Yeah, Papa Dink, that was your birthday too, wasn't it?
My birthday was yesterday as well, yes.
Well, happy birthday to all three of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Billy. Third question. What do you look for in pushing talent?
What do I look for? Professionalism, training, knowing how to work the crowd, knowing how to present themselves professionally. You got to learn more than just in ring. You know, learn a little extra of everything. Whether it's production, whether it's the operations. I admire that about people. They always look to do more. Marketing, especially being a self-promoter. When a wrestler is a self-promoter that believes in themselves, that's an awesome thing as well. And growth. You know, I've had a lot of guys and girls here that's been here quite a while, and you know, watching their growth is amazing. So I like watching that around the scene as well. But that, you know, loyalty always comes with a price. So a lot of people they like loyalty. That comes with a price. Not everybody, but some. I look at reliability. I know if somebody's reliable or not, you know. It's pretty cool because I could just pop up a show date and 70% of my roster already knows I'm already there. So that's cool. I mean, that's reliability. But yeah, professionalism all around.
All right, Neil.
Marketability, loyalty, and that type thing. Of course, that goes hand in hand with it. To me, it's a marketing thing. If you've got to have somebody, because I mean, in a sense, when you're presenting to paying customers, the champion is what people see as the champion considered, or it's considered to be the very best that you have. So they got to carry themselves well. They got to look good. You got to be able to market your champion. They got to look good on a poster. That sounds very shallow, but this is a cosmetic business. You got to present yourself well. This day and time, it's you've got to be able to pick your battles as far as social media goes with what the stuff that you post, mostly for me it's marketability. The loyalty thing, you know, is definitely a piece of it, because I mean your champion's got to be there, whether it's your promotions champion, your women's champion, your tag team champions, what have you. You gotta have those folks there. But marketability is a big thing to me. Sharing themselves, you know, marketing themselves on socials and that type thing is a big thing. But man, you got to if you're willing to put that belt on that particular person that you're saying is the best you have, then they've got to look the best, and that's a big piece of it with me.
Neil, Mike T.
I mean, I can't disagree with anything that Billy or Neil has said. With me, I look for everything that they've said. With this business, you've got to have all the qualities that most people want to see if they want to make it to TV. But with us, you've got to be willing to learn every single show, every single day. It doesn't matter if you've been in the business 15 years 5 years, 5 days. The willingness and the eager to learn has got to be a constant. We're in an evolving sport. And I agree with Herb as well, as we do have that old school mentality with some of the new school style. So with us, a lot of our guys have got to be like that. They want to be able to learn from the old school way while still learning the new school. But other than that, I mean, I can't disagree with anything they've already said. They've hit everything on spot on.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Rob Father?
I kind of agree with the other guys, but, I was taught when I started this business that you look for a guy that will do everything in your business. That means including setting up the ring, tearing down the ring, being security, being an announcer, being whatever you need that guy to be. That's who you want to push. That's who you want to give that extra mentality go-to guy. Whether it be a guy that's been in the business for 5 days, whether it's a guy been in it 25 years. That at TNR, that's what we look for, because I'm the guy that has been the face of our company for 2 years that a lot of people don't know my brother is behind the mask. I'm not going to say his name, but he's behind the mask, and a lot of people don't know that. But I've been the face of the company for a long time, and this is what I look for. I watch everything. I'm the type of guy, and yes, Mike T, I'm on top of everything. From the front door to the music to the ring being set up to clean up afterwards, who volunteers to clean up afterwards. That's the guys that, and I put it to you just like this. If by God Jimmy Hart can still set up a damn ring and put chairs up at a damn venue, they ain't nobody in this damn business too damn good to do that crap. So I'm also looking for guys that can put asses in the seats. If you can put asses in the seats, I'm going to put a title on you. If you can't put asses in the seats, I'm looking for somebody else to push. Thank you very much.
All right, before we get to Mark, Herb, didn't I see Jimmy Hart set up chairs at the event we were at?
Oh, yeah. If you don't set chairs up, I don't bring you back.
There you go.
He set up all the gimmick tables for one of my shows, carried 6 8-foot folding tables up a flight of stairs. I just didn't have the heart to take a picture of him doing it, but Jimmy's incredible.
But I'm telling you guys, if Jimmy Hart can do it at his age that he is right now, hey, everybody around here has called me the second mouth of the South. A lot of you guys don't know me. I have a damn mouth and I will talk.
Rob.
Okay, sometimes they have a problem shutting me up.
I can attest to that. The last show that me and him worked together, I tried to pull him away from the ring, disconnected his mic, and he still yelled over the mic to the crowd.
But I just believe in getting the business over, guys. I mean, that's just always been me.
All right.
So Jimmy Hart taught me a lot when I was growing up.
Good. All right, awesome. Mark, your turn.
All right, I look at, first of all, can they work? We don't need them if they can't work. Is their attitude good? And then, of course, their look. Are they going to be professional, or are they going to come in with their baggy jeans and not looking like a professional wrestler should look? And then, of course, their promo skills.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Herb.
Well, I think everybody's pretty well summed it up, because it's kind of like dominoes. They all got to come together and fall together. Your reliability and loyalty, that's all the same thing. And as the one gentleman said, it's about putting asses in the seats. None of us can deny that. The loyalty, Sam and guys that I've talked with over the years, whether it be Dory Funk or whoever it may be, if you're not putting butts in the seats, you better be looking for somebody else. And I make that very clear to the talent that we bring in. You have to promote yourself. I can promote the show, but you have to promote yourself. And
amen.
Yeah, if you can't go out there and get your heat, and I don't mean cheap heat. If you bring cheap heat to my arena, I don't need you. We don't even allow music to be played during our TVs, because if you do TV, it's a time constraint. So they say, oh, well, that gets the crowd pumped up. You should get yourself pumped up. And I tell the story. Johnny Valentine used to walk from the curtains at the Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis in front of 12,800 people in a sellout and walk to the ring and put his hands on his hips with his red robe and his blonde hair and do a 360 and people be standing for 10 minutes. No music whatsoever. So, yeah, it's just different. You know, it's like I said, it's a combination of everything. But if you're a good promoter, which I'm sure all of you guys have been in it, you know, long enough to know who you get the push to and who's going to put the butts in the seat for you. You can't be worried about the friendship. You know, I tell them, hey, we may be friends for a long time, but if you ain't helping me sell tickets, we'll still be friends, but you just aren't getting the push.
Okay. Next question, number 4. What? We'll start with Billy. What was the most memorable show you ever had? Why was it so memorable to you?
Most memorable show. I've had so many. Well, you know, I really want to say the Drive-In Brawl, what I brought up earlier. Even though the Drive-In Brawl was our third show, again, we were the first company out the box to put on a public show. And this is June 2020. What started out was an 8-match show, ended up being 16 matches because well, you know, because nobody else was wrestling, right? So we was like, hey, if you want to put a spotlight match, you want to put a spotlight match. You know, we were just collectively putting people on. And like I said, Charlie bought that FM transmitter, so it really just set the pace and the tone for Titan going forward. So it was pretty cool. I mean, it's probably one of the most memorable ones. I know it's something so simple. I'm always busy. I'm like, you know, jumping around. So to enjoy the show, I get to enjoy the show after when I'm on my way home. But not during. But yeah, that's probably one of the most memorables. I think that's really close. I mean, Charlie just recently reminded me of that. We had a situation where the rain started and we were unsure, like it was just like a real pain in the ass that we had to do this. We were stuck in this situation regardless. And you know, in the locker room meeting, Charlie brought this up and turned around and said, hey, we've been through this before. And I wasn't even there. I was driving tractor trailer and I'm listening. And I'm like, oh yeah, we have. And I'm like banging on my steering wheel because, you know, I forgot that about us, right? Like, all right, we've been through this before. And that's why I go back to that Drive-In Brawl, because like everything stemming off of that through COVID, we went through it. So, and we're still here. So yeah, it's probably one of my most memorable.
Okay. Neil?
I think, Billy, going to something you said, I think that everybody that's here can attest to that this deep, that deep breath that you take when it's all over with. But I guess the show that sticks out to me is I totally agree with that. I love that Drive-In Brawl. I love that concept. I think that was so cool visually.
It's a great concept.
Yeah, if you see that down here, Billy, just close your eyes.
No,
Mississippi.
Hey, do we have drive-ins down there somewhere, Neil?
Hey, we'll figure it out. But
we'll make one.
There we go.
I'm telling you, you get the FM transmitter.
There we go. But anyway, just quickly, the show that sticks out to me, we had. It wasn't long after I'd taken over. A little bit of my history. I'd been in the business. I'd wrestled myself for about 22 years. I've been around it about 25, and I kind of stepped away from being in the ring because I just didn't enjoy it anymore and wanted to promote, because that's actually what I do for my regular full-time job. I run an arena, but wanted to promote, and we kind of stepped out there, did something a little bit different here in the Mid-South, and I don't mean this as any disrespect whatsoever, because I love all these people. They're friends of mine, but here in the South we have kind of a thing where, you know, if we bring in special guests, it's normally the Bill Dundees, the Jerry Lawlers, those types. And like I said, no disrespect to those guys whatsoever, because both of them I do consider friends, but we had kind of stepped outside of the norm, wanted to do something a little bit different, and we were the first group in this area to book Hornswoggle from WWE, and we actually had the largest crowd ever in our building there in Boonville where we film our television. So our venue normally seats somewhere around 200. It's not very big, and Herb can probably attest to this. Our building has kind of a studio wrestling feel, which I absolutely love. I love that old school studio feel. But we put it hold about 180 or so. We put about 250 in there. So I was a little bit concerned about the fire marshal coming in. We actually shut off selling tickets. It was as of right now, it's the largest crowd we've ever had in that building. We've gotten close a couple other times. I don't want to be that crowded again as much as I'd like to be, just from a safety standpoint. But that's probably the show that stands out to me. And I remember thinking, well, maybe we're on to something where, if we kind of venture outside of the normal box here in the South, here in the Memphis area, and do something a little bit different, then evidently there's a market for that. So we've kind of proceeded on with that, booking the Billy Guns, the Tommy Dreamers, various people that have came in from TNA, the Crazy Steves, all those folks, the ABC with Ace Austin, some of those guys have done incredible business for us. So but that Hornswoggle show, it sticks out in my mind because, Lord, I was dealing with trying to find chairs for people because we were totally oversold. I had the business next door was calling, and Raisin came because we had cars all over their parking lot. So we were trying to deal with that and trying to put some icing on that situation. And like I said, it was just man, it was a wild night, but it was a blast. It really was. But that was probably the biggest one that sticks out for me.
Darren,
I think for
Mike.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your turn.
Well, I think there's actually two that stick out for me. One, I'd probably have to say is the very first show. Me and Ray going into it, and Robbie can attest to it. My stress level and Ray's stress level was literally through the roof. We didn't know how it was going to go down. We didn't know how the crowd was going to react. We ended up having close to almost 400 people on our very first show. And then we got asked, are you guys going to come back? This for us was only supposed to have been a one and done show. We wanted to kind of get a feel for the area that we were in. Well, here we are a year later. The second one would probably be in Blytheville, Arkansas, when we did a stadium show at the football stadium for the Blytheville Chickasaw football team and the baseball team. And just being underneath the football lights on a Saturday night, it's a completely different feel than being inside the ring. Being inside a closed gym, arena, just the sound of the hits, the crowd echoing through the air is just, there's something completely different about it. And to me, I think that's probably what sticks out the most.
Rob?
So if Mike Key uses one of mine for Blytheville, well, I like it, Mike. Appreciate that.
Well, you ended up having me call that show and everything, and
Yes,
that's what stuck
Yes,
out
I
to
did.
me because of how us worked so well together.
So my most memorable one, I kind of got to like Mike T does. So, like I told y'all before, I've only been in the business for 2 years. Traveled around with my brother for 15. I have only been wrestling for a year. So my most memorable one was my very first match, which was against the Outsider in Leachville, Arkansas. And I worked at a school called Buffalo Island Central, BIC for short. And I was the bus mechanic, transportation director, and drove a bus there for 13 years. And I told my kids, if they would come to show up to show, pay to get in the door, I'd let you make my ring name. I said, but there's got to be more than 60 of you that shows up. Well, you see what my name is on the deal. It says the Rob Father. I had 216 children show up to my first show. Not including all the parents, guys, because we got a big open gym in Leedsville. We could probably seat 1,500 people easily. And that really stood out to me because that meant a lot to me, to my kids. I reached out to my kids, and it meant something to them, so they named me the Rob Father. My second one would be, like he said, a small venue. We went to a venue called Harrisburg, Arkansas, to the community center. And it would only fit 180 people in that venue. And it was a small venue. They said we couldn't set a ring up in there. There was no way. I went and measured the floor out, looked at the ceilings. I said, it can be done. If you'll rent me the venue, I'll put on a show. I'm just like you are, up there, Neil. When I walked out to get ready for the show, I promise you we had 260 people in that building. And I was floored. I was flabbergasted about how many people showed up for that show. And the atmosphere for it, it just gave you goosebumps. And that's my most memorable things about ours.
Awesome. Mark?
Oh, no doubt. Of course, I've been in the business about 33 years now, but promoting wise, our first show was in 2018 in Kennett, Missouri at the American Legion building, old Memphis territory, and we packed them in, man. We had a meet and greet with Dundee, Bill Dundee and Coco Ware there. Had over about 500 people. Randy Hills was there too. Randy had just come out with his book, Living the Dream. So, and that's probably, and then I guess my second would be, and I don't know, the guys from Arkansas might recognize this name, but there's a little town in the Boot Hill, Missouri called Cooter, Missouri.
Oh, yeah, Cooter.
Yeah.
I remember.
We ran that for a benefit for the senior class, man. And Cooter probably only has about 300 people at the most. And we put about 500 in that gymnasium, raised a lot of money for that senior class. So that's one of my most memorable events so far. We're going to have one come up in August that we're doing a memorial for a fan of ours that was dear to my heart, that she just passed away with cancer back in the fall. So we're going to run a Tina Cook Memorial Cup for her. So that's going to be a good one for memory too.
And Mark, one of your wrestlers who I've worked close with, Bolo, is a Cooter native.
You're right. And let me tell you a little story about Bolo. So Austin Bolo, his real name's Cameron Hedge. His grandpa, and Herb probably knows this guy, is the great Bolo, Cecil Hedge. Cecil was the very first promoter I ever worked for in Carollasville, Missouri. They ran a show every week back before we had all these restrictions that we have now, you know, event fees and blood work and all that. But neither here nor there. So that all kinds of intertwines here. That goes to show you how small the wrestling world is down here in the South.
That's right.
All right, Herb. Your most memorable show, and you got a lot to choose from in 51 years.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, and there are so many of them.
Heel Auditorium.
Well, and, yeah, not that one, but what got to the Heel Auditorium was a place called the Chase Park Plaza, which was a hotel. And it started running shows on television in 1959, ran until 1982, 83 area. And all the greats that came through St. Louis, everybody's heard the story about how St. Louis was the hub. There's documented reports from everybody, Flair, Race, you name them. If you didn't make it to St. Louis, you didn't make it big. But I was fortunate about a year ago to run a show at the same room, at the Coruscant room at the Chase Park Plaza Hotel on a Sunday afternoon, which just walking into that same room, it gave you goosebumps. It made the hair stand up on your arms, because so many of the all-time greats, dating all the way back to Gorgeous George and Rip Hawk and you name it. That was great. But most recently, also, I just tied up with NASCAR. Had a big show about 3 weeks ago, and I've signed on with 2 more big shows with them, August and September. So the first one we had, they had 80,000 people there. So we
Wow.
racing and wrestling, and that's kind of started a trend. They had a meeting out in California the week later, and all the track owners were there at a big race, and the local track owner here told them how successful it was, and they actually wanted me to come to Memphis on the 29th of June, and I was down in Arkansas and couldn't make it. But I'm not familiar with all if there's any requirements or anything, so I had to pass on that one. But so if anybody's got any tracks in your area, race tracks, NASCAR tracks, there's a trend that's been started that I think is going to be pretty good for wrestling. And then one of the other ones I had was Bruiser Brody against Abdullah the Butcher on a Sunday afternoon with 2,200 people jammed into the bleachers of the high school.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
Sweet.
Good stuff. All right. Question number 5. We'll start with Billy. Billy, who are your top stars in your organization, and why are they your top stars?
Top stars. Well, the Titan heavyweight champion, PJ Savage. PJ Savage started with us around 3 years ago. Came in from it's like almost like a tryout thing for us. It's called Free for All, and he came in through that as scratch, clawed, blood, and sweat all the way up now to be heavyweight champion. He's been heavyweight champion since October of last year. We have Big Jeff Noyes, Frankie Picard, who just recently went viral through celebrity boxing. Steve Monster Mac, been wrestling 20 plus years, especially in the New York area. Joey Conway, part of Titan, he's injured right now. We'd be rehabbing that, but he's coming back. Anthony Gangone, Amity LeVay is up and coming for the female. She's our Goddesses champion. So we have several. We've had a lot of people a lot of fans that come, as they fall in love with the stars here. So, but they're all great,
All right, Neil, your turn.
Man, you're gonna get me a bunch of heat with my dressing room doing this.
You gotta name them all, Neil.
Yeah. Everybody's great.
Take the whole list out.
But of course they're great. But
they wouldn't be booked if they weren't. But,
right? They wouldn't be on the shows.
But man, my entire crew, and I said that in jest to say this seriously. Our entire crew is just phenomenal. Our former EPW champion Marco Harris, who has been looked at by a couple of different larger groups. Our current champion, Frat Row hero Brandon Savage, is incredible for only having been in the business a couple of years, and I actually had a hand in training him. Our women's division, which I'm super proud of. A lot of promotions can't lay claim to having a solid women's division, and we've got 6 females that are regular to our crew. Our champion Maddie, the American Baddie, DDT Diana Taylor, Raven Black, Nix, Just Jody, who is just coming into the business, hadn't been in the business very long at all. But Raven Black, I think I just said Raven Black, but incredible women's division. Our tag team division, our current EPW champions, the Twins of Salem, who, in all seriousness, if those guys aren't working, if those guys don't have a job somewhere, it's absolutely criminal because they're so marketable. They're so their gimmick is so unique. They definitely should be. I know that Jackson Crowley, half of that team, has actually done some work for AEW, but the Initiative, Trace Hunt, Jason Genesis are incredible. Up and coming tag team that we just added to our roster called Parental Advisory is got a lot of potential. So man, our entire crew is just really good, and I can't say enough great things about them. They all work super hard. They care about what they're doing. They care about what they look like. They are. We have a great crew. We really do.
All right, Mike, you're next.
Right off the top, I can't think of just one person. Like everybody said, the whole entire roster. If it wasn't for the whole roster, we would not have a show. Your roster is what, with everybody saying the marketing and stuff like that, your roster is what makes your show. If your roster is not there, how can you perform? But for me, my top would probably be Ray Ivy, Stephen Parks. Him and his son actually both wrestle for my company as well as TNR. Eli Parks. The newcomers that I've got coming in, Triple J, a third generation wrestler. Prestigious P. Hancock, Insane Shane, the Rob Father, the Outsider, TJ Murphy. I mean, everybody brings something completely different to the table. And to me, I just can't pick one solid or a couple solid guys that stick out. To me, they all stick out. They all bring something completely different to the table. They all have their own unique set of skills. It's hard.
Yeah, it'd be rough. I mean, I'd have to name.
Sorry, Rob, I was on mute.
I'd have to
Go
name
ahead, Billy.
70
Go ahead, Billy.
people.
No,
I'm
go
just
ahead,
saying,
Billy.
I would have to name 70 people if I was to go through the
Yeah,
entire roster.
I mean,
was just
Papa
giving
Dink, you kind of put all of us in a rock and a hard place. You know, if I say one person's better than the next person, I'm slapping myself in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get on here and say, "Hey, DJ Mike, you're better than Ray Ray." I'm not going to do that bullshit.
Well,
So
you're
here's
not.
what I say.
Well, it's okay. The Outsider's better than you, but we all know that.
Oh.
Now wait a minute. Well, the outsider is, but I'm going to tell you what. That
Big
piece
Daddy
of
Storm?
scumbag TJ Murphy. That piece of scumbag TJ Murphy got what he deserved at the last show.
You're the one who
Just gonna
talked
tell you
bad
that
about
right
his
now.
own father.
Well, I can't help it. It's my father too. I mean, you know. What do you want me to say?
I think we need a referee.
I mean,
I think we need a rep in the chat.
I mean, here's the thing, guys. I mean, my brother took my mom's maiden name for his name, TJ Murphy. I asked him for a name, but when our mom died, we agreed to do a business together. So I have every right to turn on his ass. I'm going to beat the hell out of him at the next show. Just wait and see. It's going to happen. But anyway, back to the question.
I just bought a ticket. You got
You
me.
need to buy one. I'm telling you. And hey, here's another thing. I'm going to sell a ticket right now. I have a 15-year-old daughter. Her name is Grace. One of the best heel women. We don't have. Neil, you're fortunate enough to have women in yours. We have yet to get women to start in our business, mine or DJ Mike's. We don't have any women.
It's so
Very
difficult.
So my daughter has fell in love with wrestling. She is 15. She will have her very first match come August the 12th against the Kill Switch Kate Allen. And the stipulation is she's got 5 minutes. If she can beat Kate Allen in 5 minutes, Kate Allen's got to fuck his lips up and kiss the Rob Father's ass. So come and buy your ticket and watch him kiss my ass.
It's getting deep.
Well, Rob Father, just to let you know, your date is August 17th, not August 12th.
Well, I'm sorry, August 17th. I'll get it right. Got me pumped up.
But you do have a
I
match
bought the wrong
August
ticket.
10th. You do have a match August 10th against TJ Murphy at Wrestling with Pride.
What the crap? Really? I'm ready.
He's ready.
But anyway, I'm like the other guys. I can't name just one guy, but I mean, if you want to start from the top and work down to the bottom, you got to name your heavyweight champion as the best, or you wouldn't put the belt on him.
Right.
So my heavyweight champion is none other than Stephen Parks, Dad Bod God. You know, to me right now, he's top dog in the locker room. Then you got our open weight heavyweight champion, Casino. You know, he beat Tony Gunn for that belt. That's got to mean something, beating an OVW guy. You know, and like Neil said, you're tag team champions. I have the K9s that actually defeated me and Kate Allen in that match. So you just can't name one. You got to name them all.
All right, Rob.
That's all
Mark, you're next. Rob's all
Mark.
pumped up. Yeah, Mark, go ahead.
Got me fired up.
I got a guy that's probably going to be the next big thing, I think, and that's Bullwhip Ballard, man. He's got the whole package, cowboy gimmick, and he's awesome. Got an 18-year-old kid who's green, just got in the business, but he loves it and he listens, and he's going to go far. His name's Apex Prime. Of course, we got Jack Parker Jr., Johnny Dotson, the Moonshiners. Savage Brotherhood just came to the area the other night, wrecking havoc. We got Tommy Too Good. Of course, Austin the Reaper Bolo. Trending Trent Daniels, who also, I believe, works for Herb as well. He's a good talent. And then Naughty by Nature Rude, an old veteran. So we have a great locker room, man, and that's what matters. Savage Brotherhood made a comment the other night. Most fun they had in a while. So glad to hear that. But we got some business to handle come August the 2nd with those guys.
Yeah, your poor partner. He's all burnt up over there.
Yes, he is.
I seen that podcast earlier. I seen that.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched that.
Herb?
Oh, well, this has been fun. It's like everybody, I've got a great locker room. I got a lot of talent. I mean, my champion, the big Texan, got the lariat just as devastated as Stan Hansen's is. Gary the Night Train Jackson, he got the nickname Night Train from Bruiser Brody, been with me for 40 years. It's still in there knocking it dead. I'm telling you, superstar Steve Fender, trained by the late great Harley Race. Brandon Bretta, you've had him on the show. Papa Dank, young man, keep your eyes on him. He's traveling with EC3 now. He's down in Memphis for there. He's been at OVW, but his home is at SICW. Great guy. But I got two great managers, Stephen E., which I think you had him on also, and then of course Lucky P. Larson Esquire, who he's a pain in the butt, but that's okay. They do a good job. And I'm fortunate to have Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. Run my training academy. So if they don't get through the academy, then it's not because we didn't give them a fair shot. But those are the tops. Everybody in the locker room is good, but there are those ones that stand out that I talked about earlier about putting butts in the seats.
Now that Stephen E. tried to buy my championship. So you tell him to stay away from me.
Well, he's trying to buy SICW, and if you ever follow SICW on our YouTube channel or Intrigue Television, that's gonna heat up here over the next couple of months.
All right, man. It's been
quite
the night. But go ahead, Bill.
I've heard about those two good guys. Somebody recently just recommended them to me. Serena.
Oh, really?
Hey, I'd like to say, in case I get kicked off here again, if any of you guys are interested in exchanging some talent, reach out. I mean, I tell my guys, especially, I'm not going to send you anybody that can't lace their boots up, but I think it does this talent, especially these younger talent, to go and see these other companies, how their locker rooms operated, and the same way, if you got some guys you want to send up. We do TV once a month, and it's a way to have them get some exposure. And we do 4 tapings on one Sunday afternoon, and I pay the guys some gas money, and if they're on the show the night before, of course, I pay them pretty good. But I think I'm the only person that I know that's paying for TV shows nowadays.
All right, we got some wrestlers watching us too. Hey man, let me tell you, it's been quite the podcast, and I appreciate.
Prestigious is on there. He's our new Buffalo Island Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Every wrestler should be on there listening to the talent that you got on here tonight, because there's no place to wrestle. So everybody that's lacing up a pair of boots ought to be tuning into this, or at least watching it.
That's right, 100%.
Papa Dank, please, by all means. I mean, if you want to make a list of everybody's contact, I have no problem with Papa Dank giving out my phone number, by the way.
Yeah. I have no problem giving out mine.
Yeah, okay. So if you want to make a list of everybody's phone number and send it to us, I'd be more than happy.
I'll give you my phone number right now, 618.
That's a promoter right there, boys and girls.
Herb gives out his number live on the air to everybody. Everybody has Herb's number.
Hey, I got a pen, Herb. Go ahead.
618-719 1034. The only thing I ask is if you're going to send somebody up my way, just make sure they know how to lace their boots, and because I'm gonna teach them, or my guys will, not me. I've never, the only bump I've taken is I've been on an accident, and that guy's not with me anymore. So.
Oh man! Before we go, let me show up some posters coming up. We'll start with Herb right here. SICW on August 3rd. Make sure you check out SICW Wrestling, as you can also see the Papa Dan commercial, right, Herb, on there?
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
All right, we got EPW as well, the Summer of Chaos tour, right there at the West Tennessee Comic Con. Ooh, that should be fun. Make sure you check out EPW Wrestling, but you know that Justin Klein guy, you know, he's kind of shady, man.
Oh, we're actually fixing to film our 150th episode of our television program, and we'll have Cowboy James Storm in. It'll be October.
Congratulations.
It'll be August
That's awesome.
3rd, as a matter of fact. Thanks, everybody. It has been a long road to hoe, I promise. but man, I've loved every minute of it.
Are you on YouTube, or what are you on?
Well, yes, we're on YouTube, we're on Roku, and we're on 5 different broadcast channels here across. We're basically from the Mississippi River all the way to Chattanooga, including Huntsville, Decatur, Tupelo. We bump right up against Memphis, and we're almost down into Birmingham and Jackson, Mississippi.
Great.
So we got a pretty big footprint down here.
All right, I want to bring up this comment by Justin. I don't lace up boots. I wear loafers, but I'm watching.
You can't pay attention to that guy right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm
Prestigious
so old now,
doesn't
I wear
like
zip-ups and buttons.
Herb has Lucky P. Larson. I've got Justin Klein.
Oh man, everybody's just starting to chime in. But anyway, let me go through the flyers I have. American Hostile presents Rumble on the River coming up. Make sure you check out American Hostile Wrestling for more information. I also have Wrestling with Pride presents Dawn of a New Era coming up on August 10th.
That's actually our 1-year anniversary show, and we actually are going to be bringing back TNA star Jay Vidal. Will be making his 3rd appearance in Wrestling with Pride just this year alone.
Awesome!
Congratulations!
Thank
Congratulations, Billy. I'm bringing up the Titan one. It's all the way in the beginning. Where is the Titan one? Man, I got so many flyers in here.
You lost Titan.
I lost Titan.
Somebody as big as Titan, it's the first one he loses.
Oh, here we go. I got this one, though.
That ain't big.
Seaside Showdown 2 Tidal Wave coming up Saturday, August 24th at the Beachcomber Bar and Grill right there in Seaside Heights, right on the boardwalk, Billy.
Yeah, right on the boardwalk. Awesome. We did one on June 1st. It was our first one there. And that's the first time wrestling has touched that boardwalk in over 20 years. So it was months. It was several months of selling our product and selling our wrestlers and selling our company to that Beachcomber and to the township, and going through permits and fire permits and I mean, you name it, we had to go through it. I mean, it was several different insurances, and so it was a big struggle. I mean, I think Charlie started that in February, and we finally got the approval just before the show, actually. And we, wound up booking the show and putting our stuff out there. Well, what a reception. The fans actually went back to the location. Hey, when are you bringing them back? It was like, okay, I mean, they wanted to do a beginning of the summer and the end of summer. You got it. So we rushed a date. August 24th. We rushed a date. We put it together, and here we are. It's going back again. Phenomenal.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Billy. I will be there.
That means you did something.
An incredible show.
It means you did something right when they want you back. Like, that's my thing. When you get asked back year after year after year, that you're doing something right. We got places we go back to 8, 9, 10 years for these fundraisers for them, and they have options, but they pick us.
All right.
I go through that. We have a lot of returning. So for us, especially in an oversaturated area that we're in, it's hard, and it's hard to maintain relationships with your buildings. Because another company could come in there and destroy that relationship, even though it has nothing to do with you. So again, it's very hard. But you know, we constantly get X back, which is really cool. You know.
Well, I've made it a policy if I have a location and it's at another group in there, and I'll ask them what kind of crowd did they draw. Oh, well, they drew 70, 75 people. I can tell you they've already killed the town, so I'll see you in a couple years. Call me back then because, you know, you got to go in and you got to paper it. And, you know, once an organization comes in there that is subpar, it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah.
Amen.
No, you're right.
All right. Any last words from any one of you before we head out?
Yeah, I hope all of you can do 51 years. If you do, I'm going to be looking down or looking up at you. I don't know which yet.
Herb, you need to write a book. You need to write a book.
I've started it about 3 months ago, but I'm going to tell you, my good friend I mentioned earlier, Larry Matisek, him and I helped him with one about 21 years ago called Wrestling at the Chase. And a couple of years ago, another gentleman, Ed Wheatley, did another Wrestling at the Chase coffee table book. And I've learned a lot. The one thing I learned is when you start writing a book, man, I'll never see it because it starts triggering memories, you know. Just like tonight, I can put this in a chapter and you say, hey, I met these guys. They're in the same business. They've got the same issues, just on a different location. But, you know, the bottom line is I wish you guys great success in the business because we need to make sure, because the shit that's on TV nowadays, I don't even watch it. You know, the only time I tune in is if Randy Orton's on, and that's because his dad runs the academy, and I can't watch it. I'm just not that into it.
All right, I can't wait to read the Papa Dank chapter.
Oh, it's
Papa Dink, did you have my flyer for August the 17th?
I think
Papa Dink, your chapter is going to be a toilet seat. That's all.
I gotta tell you, Papa Dink showed up to the big fan fest in May, and he was a hit, man. I'll tell you, he worked the room better than I did. I've been the mayor of my hometown for 49 years as a public servant. I'm not a politician. I'm a public servant, but Papa Dink ought to be a public servant because he was working around that room, man. I'll tell you.
Let me tell you, Rob, send me the flyer. I don't have it. Send it to me real quick so I can put it up. But let me tell you, man.
He was there at our anniversary show. And that's where the name Dank Soon came from.
He loves that name, Dank Soon. For me, as a podcaster, I've seen a lot of podcasters at different shows, and I see they just sit there and watch the show. I'm like, nah, I'm working the room. I'm doing the vlog. I'm all over the place. I don't get to rest at the shows.
It was great.
And I don't, I'm not just hanging out. I'm just working the room.
I've got one last request, and I will shut up for the night. Everybody that's in this group, I know Mark Southern, and I think Mr. Herb are Facebook friends of mine also. Please shoot me a DJ Mike, Billy, Rob Father. Y'all shoot me a message in my inbox. I think I've accepted all the friends I can. I think I maxed out at 5,000. But shoot me a message in my inbox because I would love to keep up with everybody. And like I said, man, we can maybe we do some networking, swap some talent around, even all the way up to Billy. Man, I would love to go. I'd love to come to that show that's on the boardwalk. That has got to be incredible. I would love to do a show.
I know you need some moonshiners up there, Billy.
Yes, please send me a message. I'd like to keep up with everybody for sure.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, Rob, I'm trying to link it. It's not linking right now, but I'll share it on all the socials. Okay.
That's good. Hey, it's August the 17th. We're bringing back Tony Gunn and Cal Hero from OVW. You guys go and send your wrestlers down. We're doing a seminar. Starts at 2:00. Have them contact me on Facebook. $20 before, $25 the day of. Going to be a great show. Appreciate each one of y'all, meeting all of y'all. Neil, I think I already followed you on your Facebook page.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
I think I've been following you for a while.
I'm trying to make some room on my friends list right now. Somebody sent me a friend request. I'm trying to make some room.
There you go.
Before we head out, man.
Each and every one of y'all.
Before we head out, I want to thank each and every one of you for bringing me into not only on this special podcast that we did, but bringing me into your organizations and showing me a lot of love, man. You don't know how much that means to me, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and of course you guys will be on in the future at your own separate times, but this has definitely been quite a special episode. And like you said, Herb, if any wrestler is not watching this, they should be watching this because there's a lot of knowledge in this room, and there's a lot of people looking for great talent in this room. Am I wrong?
No, I think I think what you did here is great, and when you've got this kind of talent on there with these gentlemen, and they've got people in their locker room, it's only better for them. I mean, we could sit here and talk all night long, but if it falls on deaf ears, then we've just had a good time talking about it. I hope that they go back, and I'm going to go back, and I know a lot of my guys will be watching it because I'll send out a text in our private room and say, hey, get your butt on Papa Dinks and look at it, and then report back to me. And I think that's what we got to do. I want them to come back and say, holy shit, man, there's guys around this country that there may be a chance for us to get down there. And I think that's what we got to do, networking.
And what I did is I actually linked my Wrestling with Pride page to this podcast. That way, with it being live on Papa Dank's pages, it's also on my Wrestling with Pride pages. So my guys can watch it. My fans can watch it to see, well, okay, maybe we can try and get some of them in, or get you guys even some new subscribers to your channels. To see the talent that we've got going on all over the world, and not just in one area, but on the independent scene.
Now, see, now you're trying to embarrass me because I don't know how to do all that hook here.
Me neither, so don't feel bad, Herb. Me neither.
Hey, Herb, there's a little button up there in the right-hand corner on StreamYard.
Where is it? All right, guys, I got to go. I got other stuff I got to get out. I really appreciate it.
All right, everybody.
Let me know. Thanks. Take care.
Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Billy,
Hey,
if you want to hold on.
Hang on, Papa Dink, before you leave, man. We got a